This is Billy Meier currently. Billy's about a year older than I am, which puts him about 50, 51 right now. This is the man that his entire life has been involved with direct contact with ETs. This particular disk craft is similar to the one that I saw when I was at Edwards Air Force Base. These craft that you're looking, all three of them, are of different sizes. This particular small one is a drone craft. This particular one and this one are both occupied by 2 people. They contain the base about 30 miles out of Zurich, Switzerland. So if you go over there, it's not too far from it. It's a little town called Hinterschmidt-Rudi. This is some more the craft. What they did was allow Billy, who has one arm, to take pictures, and they posed a lot of the craft. Now, a lot of these pictures were taken with other people present. There are just numerous witnesses to everything that was going on. One of the first things that you want to check at when we were looking for saucers is the indications of what they do when they land physically on the ground. Now, the next couple of slides are going to show you that when they hit the ground first, this is particularly the area in the ground. This is a few weeks later, or a week later, that happens. There's a swirling motion of some kind. And I talked to the people over there. All kinds of bees and bugs and everything else show up on it. But it does leave some kind of residue. And I didn't have the equipment to look at. In fact, I didn't see any of these over there myself. I'm just looking at the pictures. I did talk to other people that had spent a lot of time with and taken soil samples. Now, this is what happens to the ground after they're gone. Now, this right here is Billy before he has his beard. And he's sitting there measuring this particular depression that was left into the ground of the craft. Now, the next slide is going to show, I think. That's Billy with a beard. It's another ongoing deal. There's 3 circular patterns that are going on, which gives you an indication there must be 3 driving powers at that point. All with this circular motion. Now, this is an interesting picture because you see this round circle. This is where Billy lives. This is his farmhouse. Now, they're not going to land right here unless there's a lot of other people there, right? Within the farmhouse, there are about 7 people, and they're all kind of like you are. If you've got something that's really secret and your neighbor's going to go over, you're not going to say a lot about it because you can't explain it. But a lot of them have seen the landings and everything that's gone on. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you some spectacular pictures where the craft is landing right there. What I wanted to show you on this particular one, this is an honest-to-goodness ray gun. It's a laser-powered pistol. You see it right here? This is also the girl that's running this. That's as much as she would allow to be photographed. And that's the latest in outfits now, whatever it is, 5,000 years from now, so get a load of the color. One of the problems that we identified with this thing, and we're talking about a problem, that we looked at it, if you take a look at the nozzle end of it, it's almost the same color as the fence. Doesn't mean anything because I went over subsequently and saw the results of these crazy deals. Now you see that hole? That's through this tree, which is about 15 inches. It's perfectly round, and you can see how the burn marks are around it. Okay, now there's another picture of the ray gun, and all you're seeing now is just I call it just their laser gun.
She's an extraterrestrial?
Yeah, she is an extraterrestrial. She's approximately, according to the information they say, they're about 5,000 years ahead of us technologically. See the craft? I mean, you're getting a close-up. The latest variation that they have of this, because they're continually evolving their own, is about the size of a cigarette pack now. And they use that as a defensive weapon only. They go to a lot of planets, they quote, that are on various stages of evolution. Now we're back here to this tree with the same hole in it. Now this tree is about 24 inches across. Same hole. Now these holes are done just because they were just pointing them out like this. Billy was playing and is with Semjase, which is the girl, and I'll show you her picture in a minute. But it was basically having a little bit of fun with it and shooting 30 feet up in the air. This is a little close-up that I could take. Interesting. This is probably the most famous picture that we have, and this is a VW microbus. That's a little trailer behind it. This is a car. We have a moving picture with the car running right along behind it, and this is your craft. Now, everybody that wants this picture, I have several of them over here on the desk that you can have. It has our address on it, so if you're interested in receiving the notes a little later, we'll be glad to send them to you. You can just write to it. But I have this picture for everybody that wants one. This is the same craft, and that you saw there that was above it. It's sitting next to a tree. According to the Pleiadians, and this is where they claim to be coming from, that they come next to trees because of they work on they have two pulses of propulsion that they use. The first one they use basically on the magnetic resonance of the Earth, and the tree appears to ground their craft so it keeps it from wobbling. So they come next to a tree. You'll see a lot of pictures that I have of them next to trees so that it's perfectly still. Pretty close-up pictures. How's that? And close to the ground. Call their crafts beam ships. They ride the magnetic beams through the universe. But the new ones, this craft right here, has a new technology which they developed, and they still kept the name beam ship, but it does work on a new drive called tachyon drive, and they do, their planet supposedly is 350 light years away, and they do it in about 5 minutes now. It used to be 8 hours of travel.
Yeah, it used to be 8 hours.
Used to be 8 hours of travel, and it's about 5 minutes at this point. Okay. I've seen a closer picture of the craft on the ground. This is in front of his house. This is a two-man craft. Remember, the other one you saw up there was bigger. They have all kinds of sizes. I didn't bring some of the slides along. I have some pictures where they had maintained what they call a mothership on the other side of the moon just to keep it away from things. The little balls in them appear to have what they use in creating this magnetic wave. Now, we have this on tape so you can listen to the magnetic wave, the frequencies vibrating. But they create a magnetic disturbance that's on a vertical axis. We do know that much about it. They wouldn't give us all the propulsion. But it's running on a vertical axis that goes on up for around in our Earth's atmosphere. Now, a good friend of mine took these pictures and examined them very carefully. And his name is Wally Gentleman. He won the special effects for 2001 Academy Award. And Wally said, we were talking about making a movie. And he said, well, I could do that, but it cost about another $350,000 to $400,000 in special effects to make it done. He says, but a one-armed guy in Switzerland with no technology is not going to do this. That's just another horizon picture with the craft up above. This is a disc-shaped craft again. This is the earlier variations, if you want to call it variation 1 or 2, whatever model is. Again, next to a tree, so you can get an idea. Billy lives in a beautiful part of Switzerland. Billy would set down a tripod, and he would put his movie camera on. This particular photograph is of another variation of the craft that has gold around the side of everything else. I don't have the one. It shows a French Mirage fighter that made about 20 passes against the craft, burned out all the electronic equipment on it and everything else.
On the craft or on the fighter?
On the fighter. Oh, not on that. What they tell us is they don't care about anything. They put a force field around the craft so that if you would shoot a missile or a bullet or anything else at them, it would automatically deflect it or go on with someplace else or come back at twice the amount. It doesn't bother them. They have to have that to go through space, because there's a lot of particles in space. There's the same craft. Is the fighter up there? I can't see.
Yeah.
There's the fighter up there. Same craft. This is over a town now, so you imagine there's a lot of people that see these things, and you're going to say, I don't see them. Now, these are close pictures. Okay, now there's Billy aiming the camera up there so you can see it. Now we're coming up from the unusual ones. Billy is being visited by a lot of ETs. What they tell us, when I was asking him about over there, and it appears in the notes, everybody's brain works like a liquid crystal, like a little vibration. And that we're all putting out waves, like if you're walking down the room, automatically you're picking up somebody else's thought, or you can feel them behind them. Anyway, you're emanating these waves throughout the universe. Everybody is. And it has its own, what they call a mind card, its own frequency. Everybody's on their own. And they tune into it, they being whatever our extraterrestrial visitors are. They appear to be coming from all different types of physical dimensions as well as other physical dimensions, non-physical. This particular light, which is referred to in a lot of places throughout the world as a, and this was right over outside of Billy's window, he was taking this one. This is a craft that was coming from the non-physical, in other words, into electrical energy, down, condensing into matter, because they go at such a speed, they convert matter into some type of an energy,